If her mother stood true to form, it would take her less than 5 minutes to question the ease of which she agreed to go to the place most humans would rather avoid. Then she'd in turn ask her why she lied to a group of angels about a fictitious ring. Her mother might be a demoness from hell or something, but she had to be the worst liar on the planet. The other angels just didn't know her well enough to catch the telltale signs that Madison grew up with. She had a feeling Uriel knew, but for some reason he let it go. She'd figure that mystery out as well. First, they had to ditch Brian, who could rival a bulldog for his dogged ability to be her shadow. He knew they were up to something. He wouldn't come right out and say it, but he made it known he disagreed with their venture. If Michael hadn't stopped him, Brian would have walked right through the portal into the welcoming embrace of the fires of hell. She knew, without a doubt, he'd exchange his life to protect hers. His kind of intensity should have scared her down to the pink polish on her toes, but she soaked it up like a sponge and craved more. How many women can say their men took a bullet for them? She just hoped he'd remember how much he genuinely liked her after the little excursion into the flaming underworld.
Spill.
Her mother did love to get right to the point. You spill first, Madison retorted. Vivian laughed and shook her head.
No second-rate demon is going to screw with my baby girl. I've always wanted to raise some hell with you, figured the best place to do it was here.
Wow, well, that fit in with her agenda. Can we raise hell and snatch a certain living human from the clutches of a second-rate demon?
Why do you think I brought you? Your mother is going to show you exactly how strong your dark side is. Uriel knew we'd never get either you or Brian trained properly if we didn't bring Tiffany back to where she belongs.
Her words brought Madison to an abrupt halt. When exactly did you and Uriel have this conversation? She'd never get used to the walls engulfed in flames, but she had to admit the long corridor from the portal appealed to her on a level she didn't quite understand.
Uriel and I use telepathy to speak to each other. It's an ability we share and has come in handy over the course of your lifetime. Now, Mastema has no idea who your parents are, but that will change after this venture. Are you fully prepared to be a target of both heaven and hell?
Her mother placed her hand on Madison's shoulder and turned her so they both faced one another.
There's no turning back after this.
As the alternative was to let an innocent woman die, Madison had no real choice in the matter. I have Brian to protect me.
There's something unique about him. I wanted to dislike him on sight. No one will ever be good enough for you. When I saw him holding you behind him as he faced off against an unknown evil I don't know, he just burrowed so deep in my heart I couldn't help but want to hug him.
Uriel tried to bash his head in with a sword. Madison said it occurred to her she'd never referred to Andrew by his given name without making the correction first.
Well, your father wouldn't have complained for one moment if you'd never discovered the joys of men. His reaction is mostly a father's overprotection, and the rest is he just likes hitting people with swords. It's a man thing. So, darling, are you ready to announce to the entire underworld you are the daughter of hell's greatest assassin?
Madison looked around the place they stopped in and couldn't help but have a morbid fascination with the view. Hellfire and brimstone weren't just words in a book. The smell of sulfur tickled her nose, but not in an unpleasant manner. It reminded her of a fireplace more than anything else. Is hell like the humans portray it, where they send evil people? Madison asked.
Both heaven and hell are different for everyone, Madison. There are all types of creatures here, some descended from earth and some came down from the heavens. Don't buy into the all hell is evil theory, though. Many of us were born here. We have free will just as much as the wing boys do.
In one sentence, her mother answered the unspoken question before them. Without saying she wasn't evil because hell was her home, she put Madison's mind at ease. I have a feeling there are unconventional politics here just as there are on Earth, said Madison.
Politics are everywhere. My family belongs to the innermost circle. They're long before Lucifer and his crew came in and took over the outer circles. There are 6 royal houses that rule all of hell. The ancients grew tired of Lucifer's ilk trying to take over and have led a slow movement to return hell to natural residents.
How did you come to be an assassin? Madison asked.
That's a tale for another day. Now, I need you to open your mind so I can find where you saw our troublesome demon.
Her mother put her hands on both sides of Madison's face and stared into her eyes. Thick black inky substance pooled into the elder woman's eyes and turned them from normal-looking to black orbs. As if that hadn't been weird enough, the dark liquid ran through her face like tiny rivers and her skin turned a dark rich red. The human image fell away and revealed her true form. So my father goes from weathered old man to an angel, my mother goes from beautiful human to a demon. What do I actually look like?
I would imagine quite different than you do now. We both used binding spells on you when you were a child. Both of us were determined that you would grow up away from the dueling worlds. He's not even hiding her. What a schmuck.
Binding spells, binding her from what? She would have asked, but the last bit of information captured her attention more. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go save Tiffany. Her mother appeared to want to say something more, but instead led her to a lobby-style room complete with burnt columns and broken tiles on the floor. It made her want to cringe just standing there. What is this place? Madison asked.
Outer Circle, it's the welcome to hell circle. None of the naturals would dream of spending any time here. For some stupid reason, Lucifer's crew dig it this way.
Madison followed her mother down graffiti-covered halls which would make a crack house jealous. The whole place made her skin crawl. The level of filth and deprivation disgusted her. Bile rose in the back of her throat and she swore she could feel thousands of eyes on her.
Do you remember all those martial arts classes I made you take?
Her mother asked as she slowed her pace to a near standstill. Yes, why? Madison asked as she inched closer to her mother.
Because you are about to put it to good use. Uriel is going to kill me for this.
No sooner had the words escaped her mother's mouth when a swarm of hideously deformed creatures crawled out of the cracks and crevices of the darkened halls and began to circle them.
These are halflings, half hell, half some other godforsaken race left to rot.
Food.
Madison heard the desperate words from the creatures and it pulled on her heartstrings. Despite their horrid appearance, they were still someone's creations. What do they eat?
They are halflings, how should I know?
The complete disregard of her mother to the perceived lesser creatures bothered Madison. What do demons eat?
Darling, this isn't exactly the right time for biology questions. Focus, please, or this could get quite ugly.
Madison thought back to the brief conversations she'd had about angels, demons, and what she knew about humans. Then she decided to take a supreme leap of faith. God, I know this is going to seem like an odd request, but can you help me feed these creatures? No one should live like this. A warmth came through her and she knew then what needed done. In a firm, clear voice she said, "Kick those rocks over here." To her astonishment, both her mother and a few of the halflings pushed rocks toward her. Madison bent down to touch them, closed her eyes and thought of Brian.
Oh my.
Her mother whispered. When Madison opened her eyes, she couldn't believe the transformation the rocks had taken. Dozens of long-tailed, oily gray rats skittered around her feet, and her sense of revulsion returned with a vengeance. "Rats!" she exclaimed.
Food!
The halflings fled after the escaping rodents and pounced as they caught them. Madison watched in horror as one picked up one by its tail and shoved the twitching body in its mouth. The rat massacre only lasted a moment, but long enough to be imprinted in Madison's mind as the worst experience of her life. "I am going to be sick," she whispered.
Well, I think they've gotten over their urge to attack us.
Her mother said as if to point out a positive side. They took a few steps in the direction they had been heading before the brief interlude with the halflings.
Mothers!
The guttural whispered word began to take hold, and it carried through to all the misshapen creatures that just enjoyed a rodent lunch a moment ago. Madison whipped around and found them following her like little baby ducks, all in a row. "What in the world?" she asked.
You fed them, I'd have just put them out of their misery.
The blasé view irked Madison far more than anything else her mother said about them. "The only difference between them and me is my parents didn't leave me to fend for myself. I hate to remind you, but apparently I'm half hell and half heaven and look human."
You are nothing like these things. They are nothing but wild animals, scavengers.
"You are such a snob," they wanted food, a necessity. Madison crossed her arms over her chest and stared at her mother.
Madison, really, they live in filth and have no regard for personal hygiene.
As a member of an ancient society who ruled this place for who knows how long, it is your responsibility to take care of the weakest links in your realm. Teach them the basics of life, don't slaughter them for begging for food. Few things worked Madison up as quickly as blatant disregard for life. On some level, she knew her mother only reacted as she'd been taught to, but all beings deserved the fundamental respect for being alive.
How did you turn the rocks to rats?
I asked God to help me feed them. I had a flashback memory of a Bible story where inanimate objects were turned into food, so I trusted in him and touched the rocks.
We don't have time for a foyer into politics or a discussion of natural selection. Let's go find Mastema, save the girl, leave a calling card not easily forgotten. If we hurry, you can meet your grandparents.
Madison recognized the subtle change of subject and turned toward her newfound following. Get me more rocks, but don't eat these ones, let them grow. If you wait and let them grow, they will provide you with many rats for dinner. Madison said. They seemed to understand and took a few steps back and kicked a few rocks toward her feet. After there were a few dozen rocks, she called upon God's assistance once more, and again he answered with swift action. The second time the actions defied any logic she could come up with. The rocks broke into hundreds of pieces and then transformed into thousands of rats that scattered in all directions. The halflings looked up at her as if waiting for her to speak. Well, I just infested hell with the worst case of pests I've ever seen. Go eat. Don't forget to brush your teeth and wash your hands, she commanded. They scattered like the rats they followed.
Can we go save poor little Tiffany Calloway now?
Her mother asked.